If you want to grow into a principal level engineer, or if you are already a principal engineer and looking for ways to improve, you need to know how to build trust. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Kun. I'm a partner level engineer at Microsoft. I've made a few videos about career growth as a software engineer up to the senior level. When I started thinking about how I would make a video about becoming a principal engineer, I quickly realized that there's no way a single video could cover all the aspects that I think are important to talk about. So instead of attempting the impossible and failing miserably, I decided to make a series of videos about operating as a principal engineer, and each video will be covering one important element. This video will talk about the foundation of everything, building trust. Senior engineers at level 6 and above are often called staff engineers or principal engineers, depending on the company. These engineers are accountable for important business objectives that are often complex enough that would require a team to work together to achieve. Principal engineers tackle these objectives by providing good direction to the rest of the team and helping them execute well. To do that, they need to establish a strong influence on the team so that they can effectively steer the whole team towards the same direction. Without this influence, they will not be able to translate good direction into the right set of actions. And without making the right actions happen, they won't be able to achieve the business objectives they are accountable for. And trust is the foundation of strong influence. For example, if you are not sure what car to buy, and you walked into a Toyota dealership where a salesman tells you, "You should buy a Toyota, it's the best." How likely would you make your decision based on that? Now imagine the same advice comes from your best friend since high school who has been driving a Toyota for a long time. Do you think that advice would carry the same weight? Probably not. The difference is that you trust your friend much more than the salesman. The exact same argument coming from a person you trust can influence your decisions much more effectively than when it comes from someone you don't have trust with. This is why it's so important to be aware of trust and know how to build it intentionally. A good way to think about trust is to picture it as a battery between two people. When the battery is high, everything will go smoothly between them. They value each other's opinion, they seek each other's advice, they keep each other in the loop, they tolerate mistakes from the other person. When the battery is low, they can't get any work done together. They ignore each other's inputs, they second guess every decision from the other person. They avoid adding the other person to their meetings or discussions. They assume the worst intent when mistakes are made. If that sounds familiar, now you understand why. It's all about the trust battery. This battery usually starts at 50% when you start working with someone you've never met before. And the battery level is mutual, which means if you don't trust the other person, you can pretty much assume the other person also doesn't trust you. There are rare exceptions where trust level doesn't start at 50% or isn't at the same level both ways. That's typically when one of the two people has a strong credibility established and is well known across the team. My recommendation is never assume that's the case for you. Once you understand the concept of the trust battery, you can start to charge it and observe changes. When you have a positive interaction with the other person, the battery level goes up. When you have a negative interaction with the other person, the level goes down. Very simple. One very typical example of a positive interaction that's extremely easy to do is to simply do what you say you will do. If you said you'll give the other person a document, remember to do it. If you've committed to a deadline, try to meet it. If you said you will solve a problem, solve it. Every time you deliver your promise, you are charging the trust battery. Similarly, if you don't do what you said you will do, that damages trust. This is why you should avoid over-promising other people on things you may or may not be able to do. This concept also tells you that when you are starting to work with another coworker and you'd like to increase trust between you two, you should intentionally create positive interactions frequently. Ask the other person what help they need and deliver it. Commit to some easy tasks and complete them with good quality. These simple things can make your future relationship with coworkers a lot more smooth. What's even more surprising is that you can increase trust by getting the other person to do something easy for you. Ask them to send you a document you know they have. Raise some simple questions you know they can answer. All these little interactions help build trust and allow you to get more done together later on. An important thing you should remember is that trust is the foundation for influence. Over the years, I've seen many senior engineers struggle when they switch to a new team and fail to establish influence. In some extreme cases, they couldn't get anything done at all and had to leave. What's usually happening here is that they didn't have enough trust built with the new team yet, but they immediately start to force their influence on other people. No matter how experienced they are or how good their direction and argument is, they simply can't convince their team to follow their recommendations. And the harder they push, the more conflicts they create, which reduces their trust batteries with others even more. So it's absolutely critical that you have a clear assessment of your trust level with others before you start to expect any influence on them. As a principal engineer, you also need to be smart about who you build trust with. There are a lot of people that you will need to influence, and you can't build strong trust with them all. What you need to do is to identify a few established leaders on the team that already has trust built with others, and focus your energy on building trust with these key leaders. This is what allows you to scale your influence to a large organization. Lastly, you not only need to build trust between yourself and others around you, but also trust between other people that don't work directly with you. For example, if you noticed the trust between your PM and your product designer is not strong, and as a result they can't produce good product vision and designs for the rest of the team, you as a principal engineer needs to step in and help them create trust. This is even harder to do than building trust for yourself. But being able to detect and improve situations like this is what makes strong leaders. If you find this video helpful, please help click the like button so more people can benefit from it. I will be making more videos in this series to share with you other skills in a principal engineer's toolkit. See you next time.